Is Labour the party of sleaze and lies?
Britain was promised stability, relief, a better deal under a new government. But now, as the new financial year begins, millions of people across the country are asking the same question. Why does everything suddenly cost more? From energy bills to water rates, council tax to daily essentials, prices are rising fast. And while the government insists it's delivering for working families, critics say that's not just misleading, it's something far worse. So what's really going on behind the headlines? Let's take a closer look. But before we continue, I have one small request. If you're enjoying this deep dive into British politics, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Britain Briefed. Believe it or not, over 98% of you watch these videos without subscribing. It's completely free and it helps us keep bringing you the hard-hitting stories that matter. Now, back to what many are calling awful April. The new financial year has arrived and with it a tidal wave of price hikes. Council tax, water bills, energy, all up, all at once. Let's break it down. The average household energy bill under a standard dual-fuel direct debit plan is now £1,849 per year. That's a £111 increase thanks to the new price cap from Ofgem. Water bills up by a staggering 26% in England and Wales, adding around £123 to the annual cost. Council tax has risen by nearly 5% in most parts of England. That's another £19 added to a typical Band-D bill. For many families, it's a relentless financial squeeze. And the pressure is now mounting on Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Chancellor Rachel Reeves, who are being accused of spinning the narrative while the public faces rising costs and shrinking paychecks. Broadcaster Christo Fufa didn't hold back in a recent media appearance. Addressing a live audience, he said, "I'm going to call it what it is, lies, but I'm also going to call it gaslighting." The crowd erupted in applause. Fufu slammed Labour's messaging, particularly Rachel Reeves's claim that the government had given the country a pay rise. "It's just nonsense," he said. "They say these things while people are paying more for everything and they expect us to believe it." But his criticism went deeper than just sound bites. He accused Labour of backing many of the economic policies like COVID-era spending sprees and quantitative easing that helped fuel the current inflation crisis. Labour wanted this, he said. It's as if they got into power and then suddenly went, "Oh, we don't know what to do about it." Not everyone agrees. Political commentator JJ Anisinobi argued that Labour inherited a weak economy from the Conservatives. In his words, "It's not like they took over some flourishing economy with 5% GDP growth. The Tories burned through 4 prime ministers trying to fix it, but Fufa wasn't buying it." "At one point, Britain had the fastest growing economy in the G7, he shot back. "We were growing. Labour supported the policies that led us here. They can't now act like innocent bystanders." At the core of this debate is one crucial issue: public confidence. The government promised change. But to many, it feels like more of the same, only with higher bills and fewer answers. For working families now facing hundreds of pounds in extra expenses this year, the talk of sound economic management feels detached from reality. Starmer and Reeves argue their strategy is long-term, that tough economic conditions were always going to be part of the post-pandemic recovery. But with these new hikes kicking in all at once, the short-term political cost could be severe. Because in politics, perception is everything. And right now, many voters feel like they're being told things are getting better, while watching their wallets say otherwise. Meanwhile, away from Westminster, Nigel Farage is seizing the spotlight with a bold message about trade. Speaking from a farm in his Clacton constituency, Farage pointed to a new 10% US tariff on British goods, introduced by Donald Trump as part of his global trade war. "It's not great," he said, "but it's better than the 20% slapped on the EU. That tells you something." According to Farage, it's a sign that the world now sees Britain differently since Brexit, and he wants to seize this moment to do Brexit properly. "We need to ditch EU regulation, cut tariffs, and become the most competitive economy in Europe." He even suggested we lower tariffs on food and global imports rather than retaliate. We should rise above this, become more competitive and end up richer as a result. But not everyone in government shares his optimism. Treasury Minister James Murray said Britain was disappointed by the tariffs and would focus on securing a better deal. Foreign Secretary David Lammy went further, calling Trump's move a return to protectionism and expressing regret that America is stepping back from open trade. Still, Donald Trump claimed Keir Starmer was pleased with the deal, telling reporters aboard Air Force One, "We've had a very good dialogue. I think he was very happy with how we treated them with tariffs." Back home, another controversy is brewing, this time over Labour's environmental agenda. Figures show that Energy Secretary Ed Miliband's department spent over £43,000 on domestic flights between July and December, more than the Conservatives spent during the same period in 2024. Critics are calling it hypocrisy. Andrew Montford of Net Zero Watch said, "The government talks about reducing emissions, but in practice they're still flying around the country. The truth is, in the UK, there's often no real alternative to flying." He blamed the poor state of high-speed rail and unreliable train services, saying the country's geography makes rail travel inefficient and impractical for ministers who need to move fast. It's not about being anti-environment, it's about being realistic. And that may be the theme that defines the next chapter of British politics. Realism, because right now Britons don't want more slogans or vague promises. They want answers. They want solutions. And most of all, they want honesty. So what are your thoughts? Is Labour failing to deliver? Or is this just the rough road of recovery? Let us know down in the comments below. And if you found this video informative, don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a breakdown from Britain Briefed. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay sharp, stay sceptical and stay informed.